basically, New Media Arts allows the students to have this tremendous opportunity to use what skills they're learning in either digital graphics or digital design or their photo class to use the science curriculum, and then I send them to do projects where they're using all these different programs.
If you're not in the classroom, please make your way to the courtyard to fill out that very important survey. Thank you.
No, thank you. So anyway, the new media class allows the students to learn how to manipulate images and to really be able to integrate graphics into not only the world of the arts and video and movies and film and many of the other topics that they're interested in, but it also integrates it right into science. And so with the new media, rather than doing, say, your traditional cell project where, like you see on the wall, one of my former students drew very beautiful pictures of cells, New Media Arts students actually animate a cell so that the cell, when I move my mouse over to certain areas, it will pop up with what that organelle does. And so they come up with the image of the cell, they come up with the definition that goes along with, or the function that goes along with each organelle, and they animate it. And so we work integrally with the NMAA teacher so that the programs can unite, because it's one of those things that as we break into this digital age, I constantly think of this quote that I saw on a wall years ago that said, as teachers, we have to prepare our students for their future, not our past. And so we can't think of it as like, well, this is what I learned in my bio class. The world is a different place. And the thing is that if you're going to convince people about a biology topic, you can no longer do it with a typewritten page. You can no longer do it with even a PowerPoint at this point. You really have to take it to the next level. And so one of the fields that's going on in biology that's really groundbreaking right now is issues of genetics and the Human Genome Project. And also just the biomedical field in general. And the thing is that is a lot of imaging. It's a huge amount of imaging the heart, imaging down to the very cellular level. And the thing is that those programs are not just designed for doctors and surgeons to be able to see images of the heart. It's also designed for creating new stents, creating different forms of angioplasty, and they need to be able to show what those look like. And so there's this whole other aspect of digital graphics that fits right in with biomedical sciences. So we're going to do a bunch with that in our physiology unit, and basically we're going to integrate what they're going to learn in Photoshop and Final Cut Pro and a lot of things they're learning in those classes right in with our bio curriculum, and it fits beautifully in my mind. But I bring up the question, what is your definition of success? Because really everybody has a different view of what they're expecting their child to do. And I think for back to school night, I think this is pretty much the question that you want to know from me. What do I consider successful in my class? So basically what I'm building the students for is the opportunity to get the most out of their education and then to have the freedom to choose what job they want to do in life. Because in my mind, if you want to be a garbage man and that's your thing, be the best one you can be, but make it your choice. If you want to be president, then make it your choice. And so I want them to first and foremost know that I am interested in them having an opportunity to get an equally excellent education here and to use it. And so it's not just curriculum, it's character, it's organization, it's a whole separate section of assets and tools that they need to be successful. So I'm going to teach them plenty of science. I guarantee you that. We have bacteria growing in our little incubator over there. Feel free to check it out if you want. But basically what I want to do is make sure that they leave my class, and my definition of successful is if they have proper study skills, which these guys know. I spent like a whole day on, are you studying in a location with proper lighting? Are you studying in a location without distractions? you can. Shocking! Turn your phone off! You know, I am a drama teacher, you can tell. And so the thing is that I want to make sure that they know how to be successful. So we practice diligently study skills. We go over time and time again organizational strategies to make sure that when they leave this class, if they choose to want to be organized, they have assets to do that. Now, I can't guarantee that they are going to choose to take everything I give them, but I'm going to try my best. So basically, if they can study properly, efficiently, and effectively, if they can organize themselves in a way that they will have the resources to do that accurately, and if they are going to have the content that is going to move them forward so that if they choose to go on to a more difficult level of science, they will have the basis that they can do it, then that's my definition of success. So that's what I'm going to try to bring to this classroom. And I'm going to do it in as many ways as I can with as many different strategies. So there are visual learners, hence we have PowerPoint and all kinds of other visual things. There are auditory learners. I talk all the time. I'm real good at it. And also there are kinesthetic learners. They have to get into it. We have to touch stuff. Okay, so we're going to touch a lot of stuff. We're going to dissect stuff. We are going to use the microscopes. We are not going to be sitting and reading out of a textbook. So you may notice that the textbook is at home. That's partially because I don't actually want them to kill their backs before they're like 35, you know? And the books are really heavy. So you'll notice that they stay at home. That doesn't mean that they're not learning. I have enough bio books that they can share between them.
Attention Irvington parents, the 10 minutes set aside to complete the survey is coming to a close at 6:40. We want to allow teachers their time to let you know about their curriculum and grading policies and all the wonderful things that you need to support your child this year.
Yes.
You may turn in your surveys to any teacher throughout the evening, so if you haven't had an opportunity to complete it, you may hang on to it and turn it in 6th period to your 6th period teacher. Thank you and continue to have a nice evening.
Cool, so I get a whole extra 10 minutes. I'm like, and now I can like slow down. What I would like to do is show you also one of my best ways to communicate with you all. So I'm going to do my best in the classroom, but I get them for about an hour, unless it's a block day and I get them for, you know, a good hour and a half. But that, in the grand scheme of things, is not actually that much time. They spend a lot more time at home. And so I want to make sure that we are all on the same page and that you know exactly how to communicate with me, and so that we can also make sure that that is a free-flowing system so that these guys know that they're being watched. So basically this is TeacherWeb. I know that it is not the school wires way of things, but the science department, when the school transferred to school wires last year, the science department said, yeah, so they say they're going to be ready by the first day of school. How many of you think that's going to be true? And we all were like, and so as a department, we decided to stick with TeacherWeb until we knew for sure that the system was going to be without kinks, that it was set, and we still are not quite sure that that's happening. So we stick with TeacherWeb because we like it and it's solid. So I want to show you how to do this. So you go over to Parents and Students, and you go to Find Your Teacher. And that gives you some questions, like, where in the state are we? Well, we're California, and we're in a school that's named A through. And give it a second, and it'll pop up with how to find our actual school. Now, when you scroll through this, you'll realize why the science department chooses it, because look at how many schools also choose to use TeacherWeb. So we're not the only ones by any means. But anyway, you scroll on down to Irvington High School. And last but not least, they'll ask you for your individual teacher. So almost every single science teacher is on here, and a few others. Okay. So I'm Steward Maya, and here's my homepage. This is a great asset for you, and please use it as freely as you wish. So basically, for the NMAA class, we're under college prep biology. So good old magic school bus is here for us, and every night I put the homework if there is any. If there is not homework, then You won't see it there. And basically my rule is that if I have it by 6 p.m., then I expect that the students can do it. Now, I will definitely tell them in class. It's not like, maybe there'll be homework, check the computer. No, I tell them during the day. But in case they didn't write it down, in case you want to check it, in case they say that they've done it, but you want to check to see exactly how I'm looking for it, then this is open for you. So by 6 p.m., I have the homework up and ready. And so, for example, for the sophomores, they don't have homework for tomorrow because we just finished a test today and we're just barely starting the next unit, which is the respiratory system. Also, I don't give homework every night because I try to make sure that they know that if I give homework, it's not because it's busy work. It's because we are reinforcing a concept. And so I'm not choosing to just give homework 5 days a week because that is consistency. Although consistency is lovely, if I don't have anything that's worthwhile, then they start to think that it's busy work, and then they can't tell the important things from the maybe didn't need to get it done things, and then homework levels start to dwindle. Okay, and that is another issue we'll talk about later. So anyway, I post the homework by 6 p.m. It's always here. I try to make sure that it is clear. And you'll notice that on the last homework assignment, I asked people to sign up for Newsflash. So let's go back and take a second for that. Newsflash is my form of communication that's mass emailing. And so basically, by coming to this site, you get a chance to find out whatever is going on in the class. Like, for example, I mentioned, there is a test on these and these topics, and I hope to see you at back to school night. Thank you all for being here. And so if you come on down to subscribe, it gives you the option to add your student's name, please, and then in parentheses like mom, dad, cousin, whatever. And then you put in your email address and click subscribe. It's very simple. And that is a mass email, so before any tests, projects, quizzes, important parent events like tonight, I will send out a newsflash and it will say any important details that you need to know. It's also nice because newsflash is a good way for me to be more specific. If I was doing a review for a test and I got through 90% of it, and in the last 10% something happened, the administrator needed me, I got cut off, things happen, announcements happen, and all of a sudden I didn't get to the detail that you really need to study page 975. If you just do that. And so what I do with the newsflash is in the email I will say very specifically, this is the topic of the test, these are the pages that are most important to study, this is like maybe the pages in the packet in their binder they need to study, please make sure you get it done. And any other pertinent details like parents, this is back to school night. And so I send that out as a mass email, and if you're signed up for Newsflash, then you'll be getting it. So I highly encourage parents to do that. Please, please, please. It really helps. Also, the kids particularly like this one, you can click on the mobile device, put in your phone number and what your wireless provider is, and as long as you're one of the ones listed, you can also get a text message that it'll be much shorter. It'll just say like bio test tomorrow. But that's kind of one of those things that if you don't check your email every day, you may want to sign up for the email to get the content and the text message just as a reminder. Oh, well, if Miss Stewart just texted me there's a bio test tomorrow, if I go to my email, it'll say more specifically exactly what to study. So this is kind of my way of communicating with everybody as much as I possibly can. But there are other ways too, so let me get to that.
Does it cost you more if you text it to us?
No, not at all. Actually, the science department is so kind as to pay for our site, and everything on our site is free once we pay for the initial membership fee, which is not a lot at all. So then some other places that are useful to you. This one is probably the most useful, is my Bio Handouts. So this is where you can go to get any information about the class, like if you wanted my syllabus, college prep bio syllabus, it's right there for you. So in case you wanted to know, like, what is Miss Stewart's policy? Like, oh my goodness, you failed a test. Are you allowed to retake it? I don't know. How do I find out? Miss Stewart's syllabus.